Hi guys, I wanted to start a series of videos about retrograde analysis. It's a field which is not classical, I guess, on chess problems. So if I take the wiki, in chess problems, retrograde analysis is a technique employed to determine which moves were played leading up to a given position. Well, it means that in these problems, usually you have to study the past of the game and not its future. While this technique is rarely needed for solving ordinary chess problems, there is a whole subgenre of chess problem in which it is an important part. Such problems are known as retros. Okay, um, I discovered this field something like 15 years ago, maybe, uh, with a great man, an amazing author, amazing logician, Mr. Raymond Smullyan. Actually, I wanted to uh, make this first video with an introduction on uh, retrograde analysis, and I wanted to talk about this man, Raymond Smullyan, who passed away sadly a few years ago, but he was actually 97 years old. This guy was an amazing logician and mainly an amazing author. He published many books on puzzles, enigmas, logic, and he published two books actually about retrograde analysis. These two books are called The Chess Mysteries of Sherlock Holmes. You have 50 problems of chess detection, and the chess mysteries of the Arabian Nights with 50 new problems of chess detection. And I discovered this field, retrograde analysis, when I read these two books. Well, I started, to be honest, with some other books of Raymond Smullyan, and since I wanted to read all his books, I arrived to these ones, and it was absolutely amazing. So, of course, I won't study here the problems that are in the book. If you want to see them, well, just try to get these books, and it's an advice. if you if you like this video, you should try to get these two books. They are both absolutely amazing. But as an homage, as I said, I wanted to study uh, as an introduction to retrograde analysis the two problems that are actually on the cover of these two books. So we can start with this one, The Chess Mysteries of Sherlock Holmes. So as you can see, you have the black king in a8, the white king in c8, and you have a white bishop in g1 and a pawn in h2. And the question is, uh, black moved last. What was his last move? And white's last move. Okay, so what are actually the two last moves? One for black, one for white. I will study this there because it's easier. Okay. Um, it's pretty easy to see what is actually the last black move. Well, the most important part of the problem is, of course, the last white move. Uh, of course, since the black king is in a8 and there are actually no other piece for black on the board, since black just made a move, it was not king b8 to a8 and it was not king b7 to a8 because in chess it's not possible to have uh, to have both kings on adjacent squares. Okay, so the last black move was, of course, king a7 to a8. Okay. So now the question of Raymond Smullyan is, okay, but what was now the last white move to arrive to this position? As you can see, the problem is that actually the black king is in check by the bishop in g1. But if white moved the bishop, it was not from h2 to g1 check, because there is a pawn in h2. And it was not from a square in the diagonal a7 to g1, because let's say that the last white move was bishop d4 to bishop g1, then it means that the black king was already in check by the bishop in d4, and this is not possible in chess. When you have to move, the opponent cannot be in check. Okay, so it means that the last move was not the bishop for white. So it must be a piece which was actually on the diagonal b6 to f2, and this piece moved and it revealed a check. Okay, but it cannot be pawn f2 to h2. This is not allowed. If the pawn was in f3, it could be possible, but this is not possible. And it cannot be also the king, like king c5 to c8. This is not a move which is actually allowed. Okay, so it means that it must be a move from a piece that is not anymore on the board. How is it possible? Well, there is only one possible way to do this. It means that the piece moved from the diagonal to a8 and was captured by the last move of black. And so, which piece can do this? Only one. A knight was in b6. So the last white move was knight b6 to a8, and the last black move was king a7 to a8, capture the knight. Okay, so this was the first problem of Raymond Smullyan on the cover of the Chess Mysteries of Sherlock Holmes. And now see a problem which is actually amazing. The one which is on the cover of the Chess Mysteries of the Arabian Nights is, well, it's one of my favorite because it's really funny, because you don't have many pieces on the board. You have actually a black king in d1, a black bishop in d5, a black rook in b5, and a black bishop in a4. And the question is, of course, the white king, Harun al-Rashid, has made himself invisible. Where is he? Okay, so where is he? Well, take the analyzer. So first, who is to play? As you can see, the black king is in check, except if the white king is in b3. He cannot be in c2 for the simple reason, again, two kings cannot be in adjacent squares in chess. So let's imagine that the white king is there. Well, we have a problem there because the white king would be in check by two pieces, the rook, but also the bishop. And what would be the last black move? It would be something like, It would be something like rook c4 to rook c5 double check, but it's not allowed because the rook cannot move like this. Or it could be bishop b4 to d5 double check, but also it's not possible because it's not allowed. Okay, so there is no way black could make this double check. So the white king is actually not in b3. We can remove it. So it means that the black king is in check. Okay, so actually it's black to play. So white just moved at the previous move. Okay, he just moved. But he moved from which square? Well, again, as you can see, the last move of white cannot be the bishop because the bishop is blocked by the rook in b5. And of course, if the last move was bishop b3 to a4 or bishop c2 to a4, it would mean that the black king was already in check by the bishop. So it's not allowed. So it means that the last move is king b3 to somewhere. Well, of course, it's not king b3 to king b4 because the rook would be in check. Same, it's not c4, it's not c2, it's not b2, it's not a2 because of the bishop. So, we know many things now. The last move of white was king b3 to a3 or king b3 to c3. So actually, the white king is in a3 or in c3. To try to find which one is the solution, we need to study something. How is it possible that black made this double check? Now it's not the same as previously because the white king made a move. It means that the white king could capture something. And maybe this double check appeared on the board because one piece moved and then the black king captured it. But I know what you're gonna say. Well, let's imagine that you had, let's say, what is this? Let's say a rook there. If you had this and the rook, for instance, made rook c4 to c3 and, wow, what is this? What is this stupid analyzer? Okay, and now the king capture. Well, it's not possible because the black king was already checked by the rook in b5. And for the same reason, let's say that you had a bishop there, and if black played bishop there and black capture, it's the same. The white king was already checked by the bishop in d5. So how is it possible that two pieces disappeared from b4 and c4? I guess you got it now. This was the position. And even we can say this, for instance, was the position. And now, some moves later, black played bishop d5 check. White played pawn c2 c4. And then black captured en passant the pawn in c3. And since we don't have any pawn in c3 in the problem, it means that the white king captured then in c3 and is now invisible. So the white king must be in c3. What an amazing problem, no? Well, it was the two problems that are on the cover of these two amazing books, and I wanted to present them as an introduction to retrograde analysis. And now I said that I will make a series of video about retrograde analysis because actually I created myself some problems of this type, something like 10 years ago or something. And I never published them, or I just have them on my computer like this, but I never did anything with these problems. And I thought it could be funny to share it on the channel. So why not? I will publish one sometimes. In the end of the video, I will just give you the first puzzle. And the next video will start with the solution of this puzzle, and I will give you the second puzzle in the end of the next video. So, well, to end this video, I let you with this puzzle. It's white to play, actually, and the question is how many moves to checkmate the black king. If you want to know, yes, there is a trap. um, and what can I say? Yes, I could finish this video with um, an amazing sentence of Sherlock, which was actually uh, said by the Sherlock of Raymond Smullyan in the chess mysteries of Sherlock Holmes. Let me take it. It was this one. When you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Raymond Smullyan used this sentence many times in his books, because in this kind of problem, it's like this. You have to think. It's like, well, I will remove all the impossible, and in the end, even if it seems absolutely improbable, it must be the truth. So this is the way you have to think to solve this kind of problem. Okay, so tell me in the comment if you have the solution of this problem, and I will give you the solution in the next video, and I will propose another problem. Well, see you. Bye bye.